All right, so we're back to one vehicle in the garage. So Cadillac has been giving me some issues, so we got rid of it. I'm just kidding, it's on the road. But what I would like to do with the Ranger is give this thing some love. So it's been pretty much sitting all winter, haven't really done anything much with it or drove it. Spring kind of creeped up on us really quick here, had some plans with this, and we were gonna do some snow stuff with it, but we don't have any snow. See, we even had the ice tires ready to go all winter and never even used them. So my thought on this is I want to try to lower it. So what I would like to do is lower the front end. That's kind of the mission for today, is just see how low I can get it without tweaking the CV axles too much. And then I'd like to work on maybe getting this lower valence on here and putting the lights back in. I kind of took all this stuff apart when I did the twin turbo setup on this thing and just never really completely put it back together. If you're new to the channel or are not familiar with this build, this is a 98 Ford Ranger and it has a 6-liter in it with a 4L80 and twin VS Racing turbos. So these are the mirror image turbos, and I do got to make some adjustments here because like you can see the pipe is kind of crooked in there. They are level, but it looks like it's all crooked. So what I want to try to do with this thing is lower it. So you can see that the CV is actually kind of at an upward angle. What I'm going to do is lower it so it's slightly at a downward angle and see how far I can go before it starts binding. So that's kind of where I want to start. So I'm going to crawl underneath, adjust the torsion bars, and see how low we can get it. Let's do that. Okay, so it wasn't really much to film because all I did was loosen up the torsion bar keys. If you're not familiar with what that is, this little rod here is a torsion bar, and it's basically just like a spring for the front control arm. And inside here is what is called the torsion bar key, and that rod goes inside the key, and then it rests on this bolt. So you can see inside there, that little block is threaded, and there's a bolt inside of it, and then that bolt holds the key up. So essentially all I did was loosen up the torsion bar bolt, and what that does is it takes the torsion bar key and lowers it down, which lowers the truck. So overall, I lowered it about 2 inches. One side was about 33.5, one side was 34.5, so this side's about 1 inch higher. So I also did try to level it out a little bit. So I took this side from about 34.5 down to 31, and then it took this side from 33 3/8 down to about 30.5, but then I ended up raising it back up to 31 so it would match the other side. The rear is still about 2 inches higher than the front, so I could probably get like a lowering shackle or something for the leaf spring and lower that another couple inches just so it's level. But overall, I think it looks pretty cool the way that it is. It definitely looks a lot better. I'll insert some pictures here. You can see this picture was taken at the track, and the nose is like really tall compared to how it is now. And I do like the look a lot better. However, the way that everything is built, now that it's lower, the wheel will turn and it'll hit the downpipe. And it's pretty close to the wastegate if I turn the wheel. So I can really only get like a half a turn out of the steering wheel before it starts to hit. Same thing on this side. I have about maybe 2 knuckles and it hits, so it's pretty close. As far as the CV angle goes, it's really not that bad. It's definitely not much worse than it was when it was the other way. So essentially the CV shaft was up like this a little bit before. It's about the same angle, so I think it's probably pretty close to the same operating angle, and I am fully aware that the truck has rust on it. So I definitely like the way that it looks. I would like to redo the downpipes and go drive it a little bit, make sure it turns and all that stuff work so I don't wreck the axles, but I think I would like to leave it like this even if it does wear the axles faster, as long as they don't explode every time I drive it. I really wouldn't care that much. So I think that might be what I work on with this thing first is rerouting all of the downpipes and all that junk, and maybe I can get started on Operation Cleanup with this thing, because I've been talking for a long time about wanting to do the wiring cleanup and other things. This power line is for the battery. That's kind of getting warm. The loom is kind of melted off, and I did realize when I was under here that this thing is kind of hanging down a little bit. So definitely some room to do some upgrades on here, and it won't be expensive, so that might be kind of nice to like get some videos out of something and not have to spend a whole bunch of money on it. So I do have another project coming up. This is another 4L80, and it's another Jake's D3 trans brake. And this is not mine, this is for someone else. So we're gonna do basically the same thing that we did with my transmission that I had in the Escalade. So we're gonna do the input shaft, forward hub, D3 trans brake. This is gonna be going in Mustang New Edge, so that's pretty cool. So just a little quick update for you. I'm gonna get this up, and then hopefully I'll start getting back into the swing of regular videos. I might try to do like weekly videos, or before when I was doing Escalade and other stuff, I was trying to get out like 3 to 5 videos a day. I think I might try doing like 1 video a week for a while and see how that goes. I did take some time off from uploading multiple times a week, so now might be a good time to transition to that. So we'll try that. We are getting into spring, so should have some more driving videos and track videos coming up. Next thing for the Dadillac is gonna be setting up the boost controller. I would like to be able to turn that thing up to maybe like 15, 20 pounds. It's been consistently at 10 pounds now and it feels pretty good. So I'd like to start to push that a little bit. And there's just some other stuff that I would like to kind of fix on that. Like there's an oil leak where I have the drain going into the pan. So I'd probably like to drop the pan and then weld the bung on. This thing leaks everywhere. So I got leak issues. So hopefully we'll fix some of that stuff. This transmission doesn't have the rubber, like the nice rubber gasket on it. It just has like one of the crappy cork material gaskets, so it's not that good, and that one's leaking. So I'm gonna end it here. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.